Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Sedona, Arizona. Yeah, wisdom in the desert. Wherever I go, it's basically wisdom dialogues because there's not much of an interest in the actual particulars of the world, except that they pertain to awakening. And that makes them all so much more fun, anyways. It's like anything, any kind of circumstance can be taken in joy. And, if it's not taken in joy too, that's to be experienced. It's not like anything has gone wrong. I mean, in a sense, you can say, yes, something went wrong because you listened to the wrong voice that got you there to not feeling joyful, right? You listened to the wrong voice. And, one of the things the wrong voice might tell you is that it's not good or it's not spiritual to get a feeling like you don't like something. Yeah. And really, that's not the kind of acceptance that's being called for. That's not really the kind of acceptance. The kind of acceptance that's being called for is acceptance of yourself, getting the experience that you don't like something, right? I've always had the sense since I've been a little kid that I don't like beans, right? So I don't take that as meaning that beans are somehow bad or that people shouldn't be eating beans. It's all just witnessing what it is that's arising without a judgment about it. Right? It's not like people who like beans are somehow bad. Of course, you could turn that into something like beans are bad, but noticing what you seem to not like and accepting yourself in the present moment as you are in the present moment is what actually lets changes effectuate through you. See, so it's not making you resistant to the experience by saying that you have to like this experience. Like, let's say it's a job, like you're saying you have to like this job, or let's say it's a relationship dynamic, and it's like saying you have to like this relationship dynamic. No, it's not saying that. That's not the kind of acceptance. Accepting yourself as you are with the apparent dislike actually lets you feel that so that change can effectuate through you. See, you don't have to try to be your true self. You've probably heard from me, and you've probably uh, heard at other places too, that your true self doesn't have likes or dislikes. And that is still true. That's the truth. Your true self does not have likes or dislikes. And truly, neither do you, because you are your true self. It's just that when likes and dislikes arise, it tends to be confusing, especially the dislikes. They tend to be confusing because there's as if you're supposed to change that instead of just experience that dislike without following thoughts that tell you that it's about that situation. That situation can still change, whatever it may be, and probably will. But through your awareness that it never had any power over you in the first place. See, otherwise you just replay the same situations. You might get another job and it just replays the same situations, and it gives you that idea in your mind like it's all just the same. It's all just the same situation, the same sad situation. Doesn't everyone hate their job? And then you get friends who also say the same thing, and everyone gets around and does that. It's not saying, except that this is just the way it is, because this is not the way it is. The way it is projected. You are who you are in the present moment, just being present to whatever it is that's arising within you. You're being helpful. This is the true mind's vocation. There's really no other reason for even manifesting in form. It's all based on belief. So as long as you believe that you need this job, let's say, or need this partnership, let's say, as long as you believe that you need those things, you're going to manifest evidence that your belief is true. It's like they need you for the status you gave them. You prop them up like that. Well, when you look at everything as relationship, let's say whether it's a job or it's some kind of dynamic, like a romantic dynamic or parent-child or sibling or something like that, all of it is really for seeing more truth about ourselves. That's all it's for. So instead of putting these other conditions on relating, noticing what it's for, and a big part of that is seeing the sinlessness within each other. And the more you get to know a person, the more you hang around with them, the more likely it is that you see mirror reflections of yourself, parts that you don't like. That's not uh, something to be ignored. You just notice, oh, look how that feels. That's something that feels like it's judgment or something like that. And then the thought itself will leave you alone. The feeling will soften up and the whole thing will kind of leave you alone. Because it needs an emotional dynamic coming from you to keep it going, to keep the train of thought going. Otherwise, it's just seen as meaninglessness, nothingness, not something to fight, not something to argue against, but just something to smile at and go, oh, that's not true. Okay, let's see. What are we saying here? I believe I need to have a roof over my dad and a plan to have a roof over my head. Okay, what fun. Well, that's awesome. Look how powerful you are to make that appear like it's true. Right? You're saying, I believe I need this. That's awesome. Just recognizing that and feel the effects of that belief, because the belief has feeling effects. And the belief itself is it's challenging. Let's say it's challenging the idea that you're sustained by the love of God and your dad's sustained by the love of God, and that you don't have to concern yourself with this stuff. But when you really believe that you do have to concern yourself with this stuff, that's what happens. So you don't have to try to change that all of a sudden. You keep on bringing these things to the truth as you find yourself going through your apparent life, as you find yourself doing the working, and the thought occurs to you. It's like hypnosis. Notice that it occurs over and over again. Like a spiral. It's spiraling around. So when it comes back around, when it keeps on coming around like that, notice you can start dispelling it slowly but surely in a gentle way, allowing some gentleness for yourself. See, these are not gentle thoughts that are saying this, that are putting any kind of pressure on you. So bringing it to the truth, simple truth. I am sustained by the love of God. That can only always be the truth. And they are sustained by the love of God. So in noticing that's absolute truth and letting that apparent truth just be what it is, accept yourself in that perception, in that interpretation that you're making of the energy. Now are you saying no, do I dispel it? I don't know what you're saying. How do I dispel it, maybe? Yeah, you dispel it by denying meaning or truth to the actual thoughts, but you're feeling the effect of the belief. Feel the effect of it. See, it goes like this: belief, feeling effects, thoughts, and outer manifestation. The body's made of thought, everything's made of thought. So by opening up, okay, how? Yeah. By opening up to the feeling effect of the belief, you're intersecting awareness into the present moment. It's like you're bringing awareness into the present moment. Every time that thought crosses your mind, there's a feeling. There's a particular feeling. Every thought has a feeling and a breath pattern as well. So notice how it feels. Feel the effect of that belief. And that's how you dispel the belief. A thought that says this, I have to do something. You know, one of the lessons in A Course in Miracles, one of my favorite ones, you need do nothing. It's only when you are identified as an ego where it seems like you need to do something. You need do nothing. All things that you seem to do are only being done automatically through you according to the balance of love and fear choices that led up to the moment. It's so fun, right? Just letting yourself have whatever experience you seem to be having, and accepting it as it is, the way you're reacting to the experience, not the external circumstance. You actually don't need to accept the external circumstance because it's just changeful anyways. Just accept that you're getting a sense that you don't like it. That's awesome. That's not going to be a problem for you unless you also believe that you can't change it. Everything is changeful. The whole thing is changeful. And you can't change it by control or force, but you command everything through love, and that's what changes everything. You're not going to force another person to be a certain way that you think you want them to be. It's not like that. But, you can feel unified with them. You can feel unified with everyone, even if they don't want to walk forward in truth. And you can feel it in a way that they can feel it too. Even if they don't accept it right away, it's like they know that you love them and you would be uplifting toward them because you see them as they're created. When you're willing to see yourself as you're created, that means you're just allowing everything to be as it is. You automatically extend that to people. When you're intolerant of yourself, you automatically project intolerance onto other people, and they can feel that. I know some of you are probably saying to yourself, there are no other people. That's true. There's only one of us. We're rediscovering our glory through relating with one another.
That's a picture of holy relationship.
That's a picture of holy relationship?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Caring about others and accepting yourself, your own feelings about the situation, and accepting that's holy relationship. It's a relationship with everything.
Yep. In one holy relationship with everything. That's what Thomas was talking about. So it's like the perception that we're having is what we're relating with. The perception we're having is what we're relating with as consciousness. Like we're as consciousness in this dream relating with thought and thought forms, which are thought. And largely we're relating with thoughts that have gone astray from source. Right? They're based on a thought of separation. The way Jesus put it in one of the clarifications in A Course in Miracles, I think it was called, What is the World? And it was about the ego's world. So what is the world? He was saying that the whole world is based on error. Nothing we think we see there is actually there. It's based on an error called separation. And it didn't happen. The separation didn't happen. Of course, when you join me on Wednesday, you're going to see where it says in A Course in Miracles that the separation did happen. It's fun how it's like that, because later on in A Course in Miracles, it's the separation didn't happen. It's not in the words. It's certainly not in the words. They can only be used as pointers. So, Kalama, if you have any questions about dispelling these illusions, an illusion that denies the foundational law that you're sustained by the love of God. Thoughts that deny that law, that truth. First, we believed in scarcity. And then we made a world that seems to have lack. Now that we made a world that seems to have lack, we have a choice. We don't have to believe that what we perceive as far as lack is actually there. Because reason would tell us, reason would tell us that we just made that up. Look, I'll say it again. Just because we can make illusions of lack out of belief that scarcity is real does not mean that the lack is actually there. Is it actually there to us? Yes. If we're getting a perception of lack, it seems real. We can't afford such and such, or whatever the story is. It seems really real. Do you want to dispel that? If you do, yay, let's do it. So when it comes up that there's any kind of lack, look, notice how you feel. That's the effect of believing scarcity is real. It's not really the circumstance that you're perceiving in the world that's making you feel this sense of lack. It's actually the belief that scarcity is real. And then that gives you thoughts about something in the field that seems like it's proving that it's true. Like you're like, yeah, I just don't have enough money for rent. So this doesn't mean that you should quit your job or something. It doesn't even, you don't even have a choice in that. It doesn't really matter. It's nothing to be afraid of. This is nothing to be afraid of. Let me just say that. If you find yourself going to work, you're like, man, if I didn't believe that I needed this money, I wouldn't fucking be going to work. I can see that. That's belief in scarcity. See, it makes you express like that. That's what it does. So to dispel it, it's always in the present moment. It's whenever it's coming up. It says something like, oh my God, I have to support such and such, myself or other people or something like that. That's exactly where you bring awareness. Recognize that you're making an illusion true. You're only getting the perception that there's any kind of pressure on you, responsibility, obligation, right? Even the obligation to take care of yourself, right? You're only projecting any of those kinds of things on yourself based on an underlying belief, kind of like a secret belief that scarcity is real. So if you allow yourself to get relieved of that delusional idea and allow yourself to feel the peace underneath it, that's dispelling the thought. She got it. Yay. I am sustained by the love of God. Yes. Okay, did I answer your question? She says, after we notice, then what? Yes, dispel. Because, if you look at it like this, like every word is a spell, whether it's thought, just thought in your mind or spoken out of your mouth or anyone else, anytime you hear a word, it's a spell, right? It's like for a lot of us, it's a hypnosis that we just repeat over and over and over again. And it just keeps us lulled into this idea that time is passing. We're all getting old, right? Even songs. It's a really good Stevie Nicks song. Everyone's getting older. And I'm getting older too. Fuck, we're just hypnotizing ourselves all day.
No, take it down.
Yeah.
Climbed the mountain and turned around.
It's ridiculous.
She saw her reflection.
Yeah, so look, It doesn't matter what you see in the mirror, what you see in other people. You get the sense people are aging, you're aging, all that other stuff. It's a matter of to dispel this whole aging thing. It's a matter of looking at it, knowing that it is an unreasonable thought. And very important, feeling the effects of it. So you know it's a thought you don't want. Recognizing how you actually want to feel is super helpful in watching your mind because then you can know this thought doesn't give me what I want to feel. This is not bitching. This is not a bitching thought. It must not be true, right? Um, but you're not denying the feeling its moment in the sun, you can say. You can say its moment of the sun in the sun actually dispels its cause, right? You don't want to try to change your feelings. You want to dispel the ones that are caused by fear. And anything less than gratitude, caused by fear. Yay. That's good to know. So it's like this, like I can dislike beans as a food that I want to eat and still feel gratitude for the beans. Right? I can dislike a particular relationship dynamic or a way someone insists on playing in a relationship and still be in complete gratitude for that person. But knowing that I dislike that in a dream, see, that's the thing, it's in a dream, it's not a big deal. It's not to be run from either. Knowing that I dislike that, it's automatically moves my experience closer to that which is most enjoyable. And the other part that I noticed too is there's way less disliking in the first place. In fact, when I was in Mexico and I was out at a really nice restaurant and I asked for no beans, so the chef came out and he said, "You don't like my beans?" And I'm like, "Don't take it personally. I don't like any beans." Beans are just not my thing. So then the sweetie I was there with goes, "I want to try your beans. Bring out a side of beans." So they came out and I go, "I gotta try this fucker's beans. I never saw someone so passionate about their beans that they'd come out to your table when you ask for no beans on your plate and ask you what your problem is with their beans." So for one, I asked him what he cooks them in, and he said lard. And I said, "Oh, well, I definitely appreciate that. I love it when restaurants cook in lard or palm oil or anything like that." Um, so I tasted them and I was like, "Oh my goodness, these are so good." I started eating the beans. I just started eating the cup of beans. I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm eating beans. It's amazing. Um, but it showed me there's no real truth to anything that we're perceiving. I didn't go out and start eating a bunch of beans after that, but I just noticed, wow, it's just all a game. It's just all for play. And we just enjoy, we can just enjoy. We don't have to make any kind of rules or anything like, "Oh, I'm always going to hate beans because I didn't like them before," or something like that. Let's see, someone who's trying to develop a spiritual persona, which, it happens, but it's like a really hard way to go. It's someone who's trying to develop a uh, like a personal spiritual person is going to be looking at these things, going to likely be looking at these things like, I have to be in acceptance. I have to like everything, right? It's actually quite contrary to that because you're getting a sense of the contrast, the liking and not liking, and being able to, in the present moment, trust how it is that you feel. It's like after I had some more experiences about the beans in that restaurant, I started to feel open to beans. It's like when you're present to the moment, basically, that what that means is that you're open in your body's energy field to feeling your experience and not in a state of resistance. See? So when you're present and open in the moment, you can always trust how you feel. That's the direction to go. It's like, oh, now I feel like tasting his beans since he's so passionate about them. Okay, I got a question here. Would the opportunity to use the holy instant as another way to dispel discomfort? Okay, so what you're trying to do, it's not what you're trying to do, dispel discomfort. What you're dispelling is the belief, the underlying belief. It's a belief made of thought, something saying that there's scarcity, that scarcity is true. While there's a discomfort arising, let that be. One way I like to describe it, and Thomas was bringing this up just the other day, is holy fire. It's like you just stand in it. You just stay in it. Feel what that feels like. Notice what thoughts are arising that are trying to be true and deny meaning to those thoughts. Those thoughts are not true. They're just perpetuating this feeling, giving it an apparent reason why it's justified. It's not really justified by anything because it's not justified by anything real, but to see what appears to be the justification is to undo it.
Purification is feeling the sensations of the thought.
Yes, you might say, Diana just said the purification is feeling the sensations of the thought. You might have heard some masters talk about going through your own suffering, like going through a period of where you just see what's causing you to suffer, and you let that be released. Right? You just notice, okay, here's another opportunity. Something's coming up, showing me I'm believing in this thing, so it's causing some suffering. It's so nice. Because every upset feeling that comes up, you're like, yeah. Instead of, no, I don't want it. You got all this purpose now. And it's not this purpose to change anything, not to change anything about the world, not to change anything about yourself. That's what really gives you the ability to hold a space of peace, right? Holding a space of peace is just a matter of being at peace within your mind, no matter what is arising. A part of your mind is already there, so it's really awareness of it. It's awareness that that's how it is. You just stay in peace. You continue on the lap of God. You continue staying on the lap of love, you could say, no matter what seems to be arising. Someone brought up tired the other day. They said they're so tired, right? And tired is just only right on the surface. What's observing tired, what's witnessing it, what's experiencing it is never tired. In fact, it's taking a lot of energy just to make the appearance of tired. See, the appearance of energized is actually closer to the truth, so it takes less energy to make that illusion than it does to make the appearance that you're tired. You have to believe in things about yourself to make yourself have the appearance of tired and be upholding those beliefs. A lot of the times, what people will do is their mind will go back on the day, the night before. I've had a lot of practice with that because I've had a lot of times where my sleeping is like sometimes 2 hours a night, sometimes 4 hours a night. It's been like that many times. It's not like that right now. I'm sleeping a lot right now, which is pretty unusual for the moment, but who knows? Maybe a trend is starting. But anyways, the ego would pop in and go, "You're tired because you slept 2 hours or something like that." And that's the perfect kind of thought to use right there. There it is, right there. It's always just giving you. It's so easy. There's the ego right there. Sure, it seems like there was a last night that's affecting right now, but that's not really true. Just this gentle noticing of that. You guys see that? It's dispelling these thoughts at every turn. We just keep on undoing their power that we gave to them. Some of that power is taken back every time. There's just noticing, oh, I'm making this up. There is no last night. There's no reason for me to be tired right now, except that I'm believing thoughts that make me into an illusion. They take the power God gave me away. They say that I am not as God created me. Right, Glenn? And that's the only thing that makes us get the sense that we're tired. That's not to say that's a bad thing to get the sense that you're tired. I mean, I love that feeling at night where it's like, oh yeah, I feel like laying down in a bed and just, phew, yeah, that sounds good. And that feeling of heaviness and all that. Love it up. Fucking enjoy it.
How much we resist laying down when we just need to lay down.
Yeah, Diana's saying how much there's resistance to laying down when you could just be laying down. Right? Who said you had to be up? Who told you you were
As you were
supposed?
talking about this, I was also reflecting on my awareness of excitement and fear just being similar energy and how much the conditioning is to resist excitement too.
Resist excitement too. Yes. Yes. So Diana's saying she's noticing how excitement and fear are really similar energies. And, that brings up uh, a memory in myself with Kundalini Yoga. One of the teachers would often say that fear is really excitement without the breath. Well, I guess he would often say that because I would play the same CD again and again.
Your own inner CD.
Yeah, that was in the CD era. That was a while ago. But anyways, uh, fear is excitement without the breath. And there's fear of excitement too, like it's going to be too much. Like, oh, this is too much. And people are always thinking about the future. It's like, fuck, there is no future except for what we're making right now. Right? Like
It seems so formidable.
I know. It's like you're having fun. Let's say you're having fun with the person, you're dating them, you're fucking having a great time and everything. And then your mind goes to 10 years later and it's like, how is this going to be 10 years later? It's like, who gives a fuck? How is it right now? Like, what are we talking about here? What kind of stories are we making? Who knows what's going on in 10 years? This could last 6 months or 6 minutes. You better enjoy it, fucka. All right, let's see what do I have here? Such as illnesses. Okay, what do you mean, Durga? Tell me what you mean. Welcome, lovelies. Thank you for joining. I love you. Yeah, all illness is a defensiveness. It's a sign of defensiveness. So it's not a bad thing. Perceiving illness, it's not a bad thing. Just like any other experience, you want to get the full feeling effect of it. You know, all it is really is defensiveness. It's being defensive against the truth. That's what sickness is. You know, it's not being truthful with yourself about your feelings, not being accepting of your feelings, tolerant of your own feelings. It's like you could look at it like this too, just to depersonalize it. You know, I'm referencing your own feelings. These aren't really, they're not really your feelings. They're kind of your feelings in a way that you're projecting them onto yourself. And when you're present to your own feelings, these feelings that you're projecting onto yourself, you're aware of direction. You could be aware of direction that way. Oh, that doesn't feel like what I'm being called to do, what I'm being called to eat, what I'm being called to drink. It's easy like that. Not going into the concepts, the worldly concepts about things. Someone was asking me, should I stay with this person or not? Should I trust them? I go, don't fucking trust a person like that. That is not how. That's not true trust. Right? True trust is whatever that person seems to do, even if they seem to tell you a million lies, they're bringing a gift. That's true trust. I totally trust all of my brothers who are one with me. She's like, should I trust him and keep going in this relationship? Man, you don't have to make any of those, even make any of those decisions. And you don't make those decisions. That's a thing to see. You don't make those decisions.
And I hear you need to trust yourself to feel what you need to feel.
Trust yourself, Diana's saying. She's hearing that you need to trust yourself to feel what you want to feel. You know, yeah, it's trusting, and it's being uh, 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 an example for yourself that it's okay to feel anything. It's totally okay. And not only that, if you're not feeling it, if you're resisting the feeling, really what you're doing is you're resisting life. So what happens is things seem stuck in that case.
Something that helped me recently was talking about it in a tantric way is that you don't let the senses basically identify and interpret the story of the emotion, but merge with the emotion, so it really is just anger.
Anger, yes.
Fear.
So it's helpful when it arises because it's a doorway. Anger, fear, whatever. It's helpful. Look at it like that and it changes. Yep.
That I'm not disassociating or resisting. It's now turning into love of resistance in my own film.
Love of resistance. Turning into love of resistance. Yeah, that's the way to embrace it. There's resistance. Notice it. There's tension.
Good, there's something here.
Notice it. Notice the resistance. It's tension. Also, notice this. All aging is caused by resistance, right? So to soften is the direction to go in. Just keep softening, soften right around the resistance. Love it up. Okay. The examples of witnessing tiredness, is this the same process as witnessing illness? Okay, let's see. Witnessing tiredness. So you get the sense that there's tired, like, oh, just like, relax. Yeah. So witnessing illness. Okay, there's something about witnessing illness that I noticed that goes on, and it's a thought that says, this is just going to get worse, for instance. It's downhill from here. Let me plan for the worst sickness I've ever fucking seen. I hope I don't get sick. Same thing. So, yes, there's that kind of stuff to watch out for with illness. It's funny like that because, it'll start planning and noticing, wow, that symptom is a defense against the truth. Whenever I just notice any kind of symptom of sickness, that symptom, all it is it's a defense against the truth. It's not anything that it seems to be. And I don't know. I have noticed not getting the sense that I'm sick for I don't know how many years. But then on the other hand, whenever I'm called to hibernate and just stay still and be still, I seem to do that without resistance, without going, I'm too busy for that. So it's like when the Holy Spirit is calling me to have some alone time and be in a listening phase, I don't need to get the perception that I'm sick in order for that to happen. That's also a great big part of it. If it seems like we're too busy to take time for the Spirit, we'll automatically manifest some kind of an illusion that'll make it be like, now you don't have a choice. You're going to make time for the Spirit. I mean, I've certainly manifested things like that for myself many times. And I was gentle with myself. I didn't make it like there was something wrong with me for manifesting sickness or, for instance, manifesting falling off a cliff, right? I didn't make it like something was wrong with me. Let's go. It's manifesting a defense against the truth. Let me see. Well, all I want through every experience is to see more clearly, and rest deeper, knowing the truth more. So it doesn't need to go any particular way for me. I'm going to be happy no matter what. I'm happy even when it seems like I don't like something. Same thing if it seems like you don't like a person. It's not them, it's not about them. Doesn't mean you need to try to go to lunch with them. I might do that just because I'm curious. I think it's weird when I don't like a person. It seems like I don't like a person. I'm like, let me see how I can get around them and check this shit out. What is this?
What are all these dislikes?
Yeah. Hey, you seem like you want to use me, abuse me, and then throw me to the side. Let me check this out. Just for a little while.
That's a good point, because many people do end up kind of allowing it's self-abuse, yeah.
Yeah, well, if Diana's saying, it's a good point because some people are allowing this kind of self-abuse. And, it's awesome if you know that you're the one doing it. right? Because then you can be way more playful with it. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to say no to this at a certain point, but right now I'm checking it out. Like, you're going to automatically say no to it at a certain point. You're going to get your fill of it, whether it's in this lifetime or not. And then you're going to go, okay, that was fun. Thank you for playing. That's enough. But when you get caught up blaming, like you just didn't call forth that dynamic with that person, then there's no gratitude. How could there be gratitude without knowing that you called it forth? If it seems like it's something that you didn't want, like something happened, they treated you or they were away or whatever that you didn't want. What's going to happen there is self-judgment unless there's awareness that you're calling forth that person to play that dynamic for you, and they're deserving of nothing less than your gratitude. They're loving you, whatever they seem to be doing. And when that happens in your mind, that transformation occurs in your mind, that whatever they seem to have done, whatever they seem to have said, this could be a parent or anything, was hurtful, was traumatic for you, or anything like that, extending love to them really helps you see. Willingness to recognize their sinlessness in the whole thing really helps you to see yourself. You want to see yourself as sinless. And you're given all these opportunities by perceiving people, mirror reflections of yourself, as opportunities to extend what's true, extend the sinlessness that we all are. Whenever it seems like you can't do that too, it comes back to accept yourself. Recognize, I keep holding on to this resistance about this person. It's not really about this person. That's another thing to recognize. And it's perfectly great. Let me see what gifts come through this experience. There's no moment where you have to go to sleep in your illusions. When you go to sleep, you get nightmares. It's kind of like a Freddy Krueger movie, but it's not that violent, probably. You go to sleep, you get nightmares. You don't need to do that. Stay awake to the truth. Even if you seem to be withholding love, that needs to be met with your acceptance. Okay, that's what it is. I'm withholding love. Be honest. Who am I withholding love from? Myself. I'm withholding love from myself. I'm telling myself there's a person out there who's unworthy of love. And then be in acceptance of that. Not going to last. That's something you can do as long as you want. You can uphold illusions and make yourself feel like you're less. Some people like to do it sporadically, just every once in a while, to remind themselves that they are less. Okay, it's time for me to run that program again because I'm getting too holy over here. I need to let myself know that I'm less again. I run a program. You're so unlimited that you can make yourself appear limited to yourself. Take that as the truth and then make examples of it. So now you take those examples that you made and you deny meaning to them because they're meaningless examples. Because they're made on a meaningless thought. It's a meaningless example. People present to me, they're like, hey, Hope, look around. Isn't everyone getting older? It's like, apparently, we're upholding a belief that says that this is inevitable. And we keep on hypnotizing each other with it, and we keep on pointing to the evidence that's really evidence of nothing. It's really evidence of a meaningless thought.
Okay, I got one.
You got a meaningless thought?
Yeah,
What is
I
it?
need some help with.
Okay.
I've been thinking about how much the Catholic Church gave me that conditioning, or, I decided I guess I wanted to see the effects of belief in unworthy or sin in the Catholic paradigm.
You were conditioned in the Catholic Church, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of resisted the word God for a long, long time.
She resisted the word God for a long time. That's fun.
And now I'm realizing, oh, there's still this hidden effect of you're arrogant if you say you're God.
Oh, fun. Okay. That's fun. So she's saying you're arrogant if you say that you are God. All right. Awesome.
It's just a thought. Thank you. That's all you.
You wanted that to air on Wisdom Dialogues. Okay.
Bitch.
Love it. No, I'm just playing with you. It's perfect. Uh, so she's saying, she's saying, she said, no, there's nothing to even talk about. She's saying she was conditioned to this God that's like probably in Catholicism, it's a terrible God. He's all frightening and punishing and everything like that. So then she's been resistant to hearing the word God and what, loving God?
Well, I would say that was probably 20 years of like, God.
Oh yeah, not even wanting to hear the word God. Yeah.
And then it was like going into the Hindu God, 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 God. You see God, there's God.
Yeah, there's God, there's God. Yeah. Well, you also don't want to let the ego get a hold of the thought, I am God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
what
thing.
I'm kind of playing with
Oh,
that.
good. Okay. So that's where we're going with that. I love it. So, yes. So the ego loves that thought, I am God as well. So one thing that puts it into perspective is God is the creator and you are created. Created. See that? So now all of your might, all of your strength, all of your sustenance, it comes from your creator. Nothing that you make is actually true because your creator created you. So the self that you made is not a reality, right? So that's how to see it in the perspective. I am God. It's kind of like God is the sun and I'm a ray of the sun. I'm a distinct abstraction, created eternal as a thought of God.
It's interesting. Like there feels like, it's conceptual. That's probably what I'm noticing.
It's conceptual.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like you're a creation. Is that what you're saying?
Like, you are a drop in the ocean, all those.
Uh-huh.
variations.
Yes, so you don't really feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, so forgiveness helps you to feel that more and more. Forgiveness totally helps you to feel that. You know how to do forgiveness?
Well, maybe you wanna tell me your form or.
It's different every time I say it. You know, you just have to kind of like get a knack for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what we've been talking about this whole time, where you feel the effects of the belief, right? But you don't make the belief into a true thing. So, for instance, let's say you get, what do you want to use?
God is out there.
God is out there. Okay, so let's say you get the sense God is out there, God is not in here. What does that feel like? Notice it in the body's energy field.
Huh. I think it's just showing up as resistance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's saying it's showing up as resistance. So she's noticing now what it feels like in the body's energy field to think the thought God is out there, right? Now, see if you can get a different interpretation. Ask sincerely for a different interpretation and see what feeling arises. Look for feeling. She's laughing. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's it.
Immediately you appeared in here.
Right. Yeah. So that's it. That's forgiveness. If you did it right, you'll be laughing. So just keep doing it. Yes. Yeah, keep doing it until you get it right. You're laughing, you got it right. Right? So see how simple that is? There's a thought, and that thought's coming from an underlying belief that you're separate from God, right? And then there's a sense in the body's energy field. You noticing that you do not like that feeling lets you ask for a different interpretation, a feeling that you like. And this is dispelling illusion, or you can call it forgiveness. It's the way to healing. It is the way to healing. Forgiveness.
A way to feeling, a way to healing.
Yeah, feeling and healing. So forgiveness induces miracles. Miracles establish in your mind that you're dreaming a dream and none of it's true. And that's just like boom. Yeah. I love miracles. I love to have them go on all day long. That's my favorite. And then I just
see why you're looking for what will disturb you.
do not. Diana said she sees why I'm looking for something to disturb me. What can disturb? Let me see. Let me go on Facebook and see if anyone's saying anything disturbing over there. Sometimes I can get something going. Get get a disturbance going. Right? If you know that every upset feeling is going to be a doorway to a deeper sense of clarity and peace, wouldn't you be excited about it too? Right? You just get excited about this. Oh, the thought that God is out there and I don't feel God. And then all of a sudden she's laughing. That's how you know she's feeling God. That's it.
Well, and I'm transferring that into the purifying fire too, is that, yeah, seeing that as the resistance turns into the purifying fire of the emotion is like, wow.
Yeah, you could see how you just set it up like a wall of thought. You can see how it feels, right? And so what the ego would have you do is run around on the surface trying to find out how to break through that wall of thought. But really, all you need to see is that you can have a different interpretation right now. You don't have to be sitting there reacting to a thought that says God is out there, right? It's like now, uh, possibly now from now on, or after you've seen this a few more times, however many more times, when that thought arises in your awareness occasionally, you're just going to smile at it. It's not going to have any charge, right? It only has the charge you gave to it. That's how you know, oh, this is something that's up to be dismantled right now, actually. And not in a hard way. All I have to do is be easeful. Look how easy that was. You're just like, give me a different interpretation. There you go. There's God. I told my aunt once, who doesn't want to hear anything along the lines of wisdom dialogue. It's a little bit much for her, you know. But she was expressing to me how she felt so distant from Jesus because of all the pain she was in, you know. And I go, well, you know, Jesus has not left you. Jesus is right behind you right now. All you have to do is fall back into his arms energetically. You don't really have to fall back like as in your body falls, but let yourself energetically just fall back into his arms. He's got you. You could say he's constantly cradling you. It's so sweet. So anyone can understand that. Anyone can certainly do that. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to learn through pain. There's no need for it. It's all self-inflicted. Any kind of pain. Only your thoughts can hurt you. And that isn't even really hurting you. It's hurting you in a dream. But that's why only your thoughts can hurt you. And that doesn't mean, like, let's say someone's being mean to you in your dream. You're having a relationship dynamic with someone where it seems like they're being mean to you, they're talking mean to you and stuff like that. So this doesn't mean that you're supposed to accept that circumstance as it is, that the person is talking mean to you. That's like not for accepting. What's accepting that you don't like that? That's what you're accepting. You don't like that kind of treatment. You don't like that kind of behavior. That's what you get accepting of. And then you're not projecting it. See? It's not like anything has to change on the surface for you to feel okay, because you just recognize, hey, I don't like that behavior. That's awesome. Let's see what happens next. Let's see where this goes. Right? Not being tied to any particular outcome, just allowing the spirit to work through you to be an expression of truth. It's not trying to gloss over illusions or trying to be accepting of things that are unacceptable to you in your dream. Accepting of yourself. You made the dream and then you're reacting to the dream that you made. And being in acceptance of that. And then the way you make the dream, even the way you make the dream starts to change. It even talks about this in the Bible. It's like, so it's like kind of like a secret that everyone has been given the answer, but
In a parable.
just act like we don't have the answer. No one's gonna fly down here and save you. You know, you could liken that second coming of Jesus, which Christians are waiting for, to waiting for that ideal romantic relationship to show up. The one where the twin flame comes and everything is perfect. They like to study with you. They like to have awesome sex with you. They like to, whatever your thing is, that would make them the perfect partner. It's kind of like the same thing. That's really common. Like this idea that someone's going to come along and they're going to be all those things for us. And this idea that relationship or Jesus coming back is going to heal all of our despair suddenly. But really, those are distractions, similar distractions, actually. It's some kind of salvation that comes from outside of ourselves. And I love how it says so clearly in A Course in Miracles, my salvation is up to me. So I can't be waiting for something to occur in the field. Otherwise, I'm making it just prolong. It just keeps on prolonging. And you could get like a fun relationship that lasts who knows how long. You both believe in death together, so then you end up dying in the relationship. Only to find out that wasn't it either. There's just nothing in the field that can save you. It's in your choice to let yourself be saved now, along with everyone else.
My favorite teaching of Jesus is you can do this and more.
You can do this and more. Yeah.
And that, I guess I'm kind of even contemplating there's still some separation or out there sort of conceptual Jesus for me too.
There's a conceptual Jesus for you?
And I'm wondering how the Course, we're not wanting Jesus to save, but we're saving ourselves from our misperceptions.
Yes, and Jesus is a guide. Yeah, he presents himself as a guide, an older brother, kind of like an older brother has gone ahead of you on the path.
He's always there for you to ask.
Always there for you. Always. Yes. He's with everyone all the time.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep, he's in charge of the way he puts it through A Course in Miracles and is in that channeling through A Course in Miracles is he's in charge of the atonement.
okay.
The atonement is basically recognition that you're as God created you. You haven't made yourself. You haven't created yourself.
I often think of the atonement as being the hollow bone, just knowing that everything comes and goes and
Yeah.
it's a transparent experience.
Everything in illusions comes and goes. Everything in reality is created eternal. And where we are is actually in reality. So there's no satisfaction for us to be found in anything that dies. That's everything here. We cannot find satisfaction in status or jobs or our body or another person's body, for instance. Food, nothing's going to be satisfying. My son recognized that I was doing unschooling with my kids, so my kids were allowed to do whatever they wanted. And my son was probably about 9 or 10. And I think he posted it on Facebook, how it was interesting that anything you do gets boring after a while. Yeah, he was only a young dude because he was just able to do whatever he wanted so he could have those kinds of insights. He's like, wow, no matter what it is, it just gets boring after a while. Yeah, it's not for finding satisfaction here. And you know what people do is they try to get like more excitement then. Okay, that's boring. Let's try to get even more exciting, even more exciting. But once you find your purpose and your purpose is extending love, then it's beyond exciting. The whole life then becomes kind of like a canvas almost. It's like you're doing art. Creativity is really artful. Right? Just listening, watching, noticing how things feel, Noticing where you can extend love, noticing where you need a different interpretation because you feel scared. That's all. The illusion of the life, that's just unfolding. There's nothing to be concerned about here. If you seem to have a job, it's still the same. No matter what you seem to be doing in the field, it's just all the same. You're witnessing a mind awakening, awakening to the truth of who we all are. And you know, your awakening could go really slow if you would rather bear witness to illusions, because your mind isn't available to be used like that. It's like your mind can be available to be used for undoing these illusions rather than just, you know, getting your personal relief over and over again, which isn't bad. You should be relieved. You should be relieved. There's a point though where you go, okay, I'm just going to stay in release. And let's see what kind of patterns I can undo. So for me, it's like every day I love how I just get these opportunities to undo different patterns because I'm not feeling upset about them. It's like a thought occurs that something looks wrong, looks out of place, anything like that. I know that's for me to undo common misperceptions in the mind. It's not something that you get a job doing in the world where they pay you to do it. But it's actually the most helpful thing for everyone because it's helping undo the fear that causes these imaginary lifetimes. Everyone everyone has a buried sense of longing for their actual life, for their created reality. Everyone has that. All longing in the world is only symbolic of that longing. To be back where we are, to know that we are where we are in the created reality. So it's helpful to everyone to bring that back. And that's why it's so creative too, because it's like you don't know how the spirit's going to express through you. You're just aware that whatever it is that denies what's true in spirit is not going to be given any kind of reality here. It's not going to be given reality in my mind. So it's like, yeah, uh, question, if you get the sense that someone is uh, being mean to you, that's certainly a common thing. You get the sense that someone's being mean to you. How do you know whether to keep on interacting with them? Well, I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know. It is a good question. I don't know how if I'm going to keep interacting with them. I'm going to find out. I'm watching the show just like everyone else, the show of Hope Johnson playing here.
One minute you can think you can interact or.
Yeah, who knows what this thing is going to do? Yeah, who knows what this thing is going to do? But I was in one relationship some months back and you know, I told the dude, I go, "You know what? This is not going to go on very long." And the guy goes, "What? You're always going to love me." I'm like, "That's true, but you know this thing, that's not going to go on very long." Why? I don't fucking like that, what you're doing. Right now, I'm getting the sense that I'm putting up with it because there's other things that I do like. But that's not going to keep, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll tell you, that's not going to keep on going on. And you know, it's because I'm willing to feel that and be at ease within myself going, I don't like that. I don't like that, whatever that is, whatever that game is, where it's like that. It's like this kind of energy. I don't like it, and that's the thing is like spiritual people are like, oh my God, I'm supposed to like everything.
But you're not saying, I don't like you, I don't like this pattern, I don't like this behavior.
Right.
I don't like the feelings that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I'm not asking the person to change at all. It's just like, hey, this is where this is going. Like I could see the premonition because it's like, man, if I don't like it, it's not, things are changing. That's just how it is. If I'm getting a sense I don't like it, shit is changing. So I can be confident about that. So it's not a matter of accepting, oh, this is just the way it is. This is the way guys are. I guess if I want to keep getting laid, I better stick it out. Right?
Thank God you don't believe that.
No, it's that I accept myself in the situation. And I know also that I'm deserving of perfect happiness just like anyone else. That's God's will for us. That's why I know that's God's will for me is my perfect happiness. So if there's a sense that, oh, I'm not liking that kind of energy, that thing's changing in one way or another. Either that person's going, oh, I don't want that energy. I don't want to do that energy with you. I'd rather do this. Well, that's how it was with my husband Tony. The very first year I was with him, he kept on doing these different weird energies. One of them was I was gonna say chivalry, but no, it wasn't chivalry. It was something else. Chauvinist. That's what it was. There was chauvinism, and I'm like, fuck no, fuck no. He's like, I'm telling you, I do not want to be like that either. I'm gonna not do that. I'm like, really? He's like, yes. And then he's like, in fact, I'm gonna go. Oh, I told him. I was like, I don't care if you're not gonna do it again. You did it in front of all my friends. My friends look up to me. There's no fucking way they're gonna see me with you again. I was like 21 or something. And he's like, what if I apologize to all your friends who were there? And I'm like, you would do that? That's amazing. That's why I was still with him 30 years later.
He didn't.
He did it.
Fucking wrong.
Yeah. And I remember one of my friends goes, you're lucky Hope took you back.
Mhm.
And he's like, what? He's like, normally when Hope says it's over, it's over. You're really lucky
You're
she
21.
took you back. Yeah. I had all kinds of experience. I know at 21, this is my reputation. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
She knows when she's done.
Yeah, she knows when she's done. That's right. Well, you don't usually have them. That was kind of rare, I think. It's all different depending on what you need. But it seemed kind of rare that you would get someone who would like understand that and go, "Fuck, there is no way I'm going to be with this chick unless I do something drastic here." Right?
And particularly in that apparent time.
Yeah.
So probably 80s or something.
Yeah, well, the early 90s.
Early.
Early 90s, yeah.
Chauvinism was a righteous tool.
Yeah. He got chauvinist in front of all my friends apparently. But normally, seemingly normally, uh, people are just gonna go, oh, okay, well, that's the way I am, and you're moving on fairly quickly. It's like I called attention to one friend. I'm like, hey, you're using manipulation. Look at here's 6 ways you just use manipulation in that one text to me. And it's like, hey, what's up with that? And then that person just decided to just completely step back from the relationship.
Couldn't look at all that.
He saw it and he goes, shit, you're right. I got to do some work. No, he was really sweet about it. He was, but there wasn't that sense like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be manipulated with you. Let's look at that or something like that, you know? It's just kind of like there's this sense like, well, that's the way I am and that's the way it's going to be and I'm not and I'm not worthy. That's a common thing too. I'm not worthy because I am this manipulative. And the thing is, it's like you are worthy. It's just a matter if you want to keep being manipulative, if you want to strategize your relationships like that, you can. You're going to have some interesting relationships that way. Like who else wants to strategize relationships like that you're going to be hanging out with? Right? It's like when you can see the manipulation and bring it to light, that's where the opportunity is right there. That's where it's like, okay, well, here's this manipulation going on right here. And then it's like, oh shit, I see that too. I don't want to do that. You want to help? Yeah, let's look at that. I don't want to be manipulating you, right? But then when there's a sense like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I'm such a manipulator. Oh, well, I guess I'm not worthy of you. It's just a lot of self punishment and self doubt being played out, right? And it's like people get comfortable in their self punishment and self doubt and playing that out. And they're looking for someone to play it out with. And it's not, and it doesn't need to be you.
But I see that's where kind of the loop of things comes in because shame is in there too.
Shame is in there, right?
And that once, to me, it's like once shame gets triggered, it's like, whoa, contract and, pull away sort of behavior.
Contract and pull away when there's shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like a sense like you want to run away from things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of the instinct of the system in some ways, like
Yeah.
comment, but us humans.
Well, for one thing, she's talking about instinct of the system. For one thing, when you're getting close together to revealing deeper truths, deeper and deeper truths, it's like this sense of fear, like something's wrong with the relationship. It's like, shit, this relationship is potent. Right? It's on fire. But then it's like the ego, once the ego comes in with strategies, it's like, oh, I got to call that out. Whether or not the person that I'm relating with wants to look at the strategizing and go, shit, how do I undo that is another story. Sometimes they want to stay with that. They just want to hang out with people who will just let them play their strategies for a while. But that's why in the long term, relationships tend to turn sour because those strategies keep on getting played out and they're mean spirited. So people don't feel taken care of by ego strategies when that's what the ego strategy is really meant to do. It's meant to try to control the situation. It's meant to try to get what you want out of the situation. Even if that's closeness.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm kind of going through like there's places where I'm like, that's just the way it is, but I'm also going like there's places where like, no, this ain't going on.
Yeah, and see, Diana's talking about there's places in her mind where it's like, that's just the way it is. Notice that. That isn't
about the relationship and the dynamic.
Yeah.
Is like I have no charge about wanting change.
Mm-hmm.
And know that I'm not getting certain needs met or are not going to look for those needs to get met there.
You're not going to look for certain needs to get met from a certain person.
Well, in terms of the manipulation dynamics, because it's so, I guess my perception is that it's like the common makeup
It's a common makeup.
in relation dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that thing about it, that's just the way it is. that's always the ego. Because this thing is completely changeful and it's under your command. Like all of it is made of love. So it's under your command.
Well, and I'm just looking at it, it's easy to have love and acceptance for, I'm not gonna change this, this is what their capacity, is, and kind of like, it's not a separate experience, but the ones that I'm charged about, yeah, it becomes because I'm having emotions that are being brought up from dynamic.
From the dynamic, yeah. So it seems to be coming from the dynamic, but it's actually coming from a belief. All of your emotions, yeah, all of your emotions and your feeling fluctuations are coming from belief, and then the thoughts about the dynamic are meant to justify the feeling. But they don't really come from that. They're not from it. So even people can change. Like I always leave the door open for people to change because and change drastically too. Because there's just based on thought, and we're purifying thought here. So as we're purifying thought and people aren't feeling like they need to be validated by other people, they can be more in their truth. They can be more in their own feelings. I hold that for everyone, and don't make it as if they need to die and come back again reincarnated to do it. I hold that opening for everyone. You can contemplate anyone's return to peace and sanity. You could see that on their face. You could see that in your mind's eye that they never left the truth. And then that helps you see yourself more like that. It's totally connected, like how you see others to how you see yourself. That is totally connected. For me, I just get a sense of a little bit of complaining about a person, and I know it's just about myself. And so, it's like now it's so rare that I get any sense of any kind of complaint about anything that a person is doing, any kind of sound they're making. Irritation doesn't have to add up to where it's like, oh, can you just stop doing that thing? When you're aware of your feelings, it's sweet the way things come up. They don't come out of irritation. It's more like cooperation. And we can't do that by trying to manage ourselves or trying to strategize our words to make it sound like it's not, like we're not in conflict. People try to do that with that nonviolent communication, right? There's ways to phrase things to make it sound like you're not in conflict, but it doesn't work. Because when you're in conflict about something in the field, it's because you haven't embraced your own feeling. Saying things in a certain way isn't going to help with that, because there's this belief that the way you're feeling is being caused by what's going on in the field, maybe what someone else is doing or something like that. And with that belief firmly set in place like that, you don't want to keep on feeling this feeling over and over again. It's not doing anything because the belief is set in place. And it's the same way. It's like, if you're not willing for the belief to be undone, this is going to keep on cycling around like this. But the underlying belief has to be undone. And what I mean by underlying belief, it's one of them is a belief that there can be scarcity. Okay, the ultimate underlying belief is the belief that you separated from creation. So then there's belief in lack. There's belief in sin. There's belief in abandonment. All of our songs are even like that. It is so funny. Well, not all of them, but most of them. It's just constant hypnosis. It's as if we could be lonely, as if we could be alone, as if we can be without resource.
Broken heart's your destiny.
A broken heart is your destiny, Deanna says.
If you listen to all the romantic songs.
All the romantic songs, I know. I know, it's so wild. There's no love but God's love. So all romantic love, it's just like a substitute. It's just like a substitute. There's only God's love. Even all love that comes from anywhere. For me, you know what I'll notice? Uh, other people, apparently other people, saying I love you to one another. Walking together, laughing together. All of that is me. I'll notice those things and be like, thank you. There's God's love. There's God's love again. There's God's love in that form. What fun. And so I don't have to try to hang on to God's love in any form that it arises for me or seek it out in any way because I am actually the fulfillment. God is all loving and looking for and looking to love us. So it's a matter of would you be willing to receive the love of God? And knowing that that's the reason I'm created is to receive the love of God, I receive it. I don't turn it away. So when it seems like I don't like something, I know I'm well taken care of about that. I know this thing is changing. For one, if there's something that it seems like I don't like it, either this thing is changing or it's naturally changing to go, oh, never mind, I actually like it. But it's not about making myself like it. See that? So it's kind of a subtle difference that I'm explaining to you here about the way most people are doing acceptance, spiritual people are doing and teaching acceptance is not really the way that acceptance occurs for us truly. Again, it's not about accepting anything external. It's accepting the internal state, the reaction, the sense of not liking it. That's what allows peace. You can have a sense of not liking something and peace at the same time. You can see that. When you're not identified as the one who doesn't like or the one that doesn't have to do changes, the one that has to do some changes, work them out, figure them out, you stay identified as peace within the sense of not liking something. See that? Whole governments can change like this. It's just that people don't recognize what's going on. You know, people want abortions to stop. One guy commented on one of my posts about how millions of abortions are so bad. And, you know, it's like, well, if we want abortions to stop, then we got to look at our reaction. Really, that's where it comes down to. Look at our reaction, the underlying belief, look at the judgment of it. You know, of course, no one wants killing to be happening. No one really wants killing to be happening. And it can't really happen because it's not created by God. Whatever God didn't create can't really happen. So when we get the sense abortions are happening and we feel intolerant to abortions, we're actually making more abortions. But if we get in touch with ourselves and how we feel, and noticing that there's no thought to justify how we feel. There's no thought. We need a different interpretation. Being intolerant to behavior makes that behavior perpetuate. In fact, it makes us act it out ourselves. It's so funny. You know, abortion, it's symbolic. It's like a sense like, oops, I didn't want that. That's not what I was going for. Right? Whatever it is, whether it's legal or anything like that, it's all perfectly situated. Whether a person can seemingly choose it or not, it's all perfectly situated so that we could see through the illusion itself. I mean, if it takes a bunch of dead babies to do it, then that's how we do it. Dead babies on a screen of consciousness. You know, just recognizing that we're making these illusions and these symbols up. To help us see the truth, not to punish us. And the interesting thing, too, about abortion, when you look at choice, no one has a choice in what they seem to choose for themselves in the dream. Everyone only has a choice between love and fear. So when someone apparently makes a choice for having an abortion, that choice is the most helpful choice that can be made. It's helpful across the board for the person that seems to have made the choice, for everyone in their life, even for the fetus, believe it or not, even for the fetus. It is the most helpful choice. In this dream, there seems like an awful lot of suffering. Even in the animal kingdom, everyone's eating each other. The plants are eating animals underneath, little tiny microscopic animals underneath the soil. They're totally carnivorous. You know, people thought that plants were vegetarian. Everything's eating everything. Everything's killing everything, apparently. Even like breath, someone was explaining to me how breath itself is like searing something, it's eating something away. That's the apparent world. That's the world we made. That's the world we don't want to keep. That's the world we don't want to keep perpetuating over and over again. So when we see what it's truly for, we stop participating in that going around killing everything. You know, it might manifest in your experience. I know I've had experience with abortions. I've been pregnant 8 times, actually, and I seem to have 3 kids. So count them up. Couple of them are miscarriage. I can't remember how many, what. Okay. But I know from experience that when I went for abortions, I think there were 2 of them. I went for an abortion these 2 times. There was a sense of being afraid of manifestation, the manifestation of a child. Once I was beyond that being afraid of manifestation, it was like, sure. Oh, that's what seems to be arising. Okay. Like just oh, whatever the manifestation, whatever it's giving to me, great. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I mean, You could be guided to have an abortion too, because when it comes to the Holy Spirit guidance, there's no rules on it. That's for sure. Okay, let's see. How to bring acceptance to deep longings of the soul. Are the longings an illusion? Okay, so the deep longing of the soul is to know yourself as you are. That's the deepest longing of the soul. And all other longings stem from that. You could say another way to say it is to know the peace of God and to rest in the peace of God forever. Let's say that's your deepest longing. Um, Yes. Are these longings an illusion? Yes, they are, because everything is an illusion. However, that longing for truth, that's given you by God because it's who you are. So, yeah, it's an illusion because once the illusory world fades away, you won't have that longing because you know your own fulfillment. In fact, you can, you don't, instead of bringing acceptance to these deep longings of the soul, you can actually have fulfillment of these longings. That's what you want. You want them to be fulfilled, and you can actually have fulfillment of these longings in the moment. That's the thing. When you're recognizing that all apparent longings are really the same longing, and then you just allow yourself to receive, you actually express and live life as both that longing or desire, you might say it, and the fulfillment of it. You are, you are the fulfillment of that longing. You. So it's acceptance of yourself in the moment that fulfills that longing. So, yeah, you want to keep it, you want to keep the longing for the whole time you're in the illusion, and you will get to keep it, and you want to use it. Yeah, you because it's guiding you back. So it's guiding you back to the clarity that you need to be able to see creation. So you want to keep it and also let it be fulfilled, recognizing you are the fulfillment. In fact, every desire and every longing that everyone has in the world, you are the fulfillment. You are. So it's like recognizing that it's your peace, it's your union with God that fulfills every desire. And that's just a matter of you accepting what is. There's nowhere to go about it. There's nothing to do about it. I mean, depending on how studied you are, there may be a period where you need to learn something, right? If so, I recommend A Course in Miracles. And then I also recommend A Course of Love. I love that one. That one's freaking good. In fact, I'm on day 8 of A Course of Love. There's 40 days. I'm like, wow, this is already deep. I feel like I'm fully enlightened already, and there's more days. Right? It's already fuck. What else is there to do? You're gonna give me 32 more days? I can't believe this. But yeah, it's a really good explanation so far, day 8 out of 40, that depicts, puts into words what I've been onto for many years. Kind of without those kind of words like they're expressing in A Course in Love, just kind of seeing um, how to do, I guess you could say, how to do my function, which is forgiveness, how to see things. It talks about in there, it talks about accepting yourself. And that is one thing that I notice. Wow, I'm really willing to accept myself. I'm really willing to let myself off the hook, even if I have any kind of emotional breakdown or anything like that. I'm really willing to do that. I've found myself driving around in a car one time, and it seemed like, oh my God, I really fucked up now. Oh my God, this is the worst. Oh my God, oh my God. And it's like the practice just comes right in. It's like, no, I do not accept that as being anything valid. That is not meaningful. that anything even happened back there. That doesn't make any sense, right? And just accepting the love of God and receiving the love of God. That's really what it is. That's what you're longing for, to know that, to have that connection so strongly that it doesn't matter what shows up, you can always rely on that connection to see you through, to show you the truth. Aloha, thank you for joining. I love how people just go in and out whenever they like. I love it. Thank you. Feel free to ask me any questions that you want. I love it. Yeah, you can probably imagine. I mean, this is the way I go around anyways. Uh, uh, like I'm just the fulfillment of every desire, you know, and it's not as a body, it's nothing like that. Um, what everyone desires is union, and that's what I have. I have that in my mind. I'm aware of union in my mind, and so that's what I have to share with everyone. Yeah. That's what I have to share with everyone. I don't know how it's going to come out. I don't know how it's going to look. I know I don't need to convince anyone of anything, right? I don't even have to have conversations that aren't fucking fun. Like really fun, right? I don't get taken out by someone's negativity. I freaking have a party with it. I think it's funny, right? I was telling Thomas about the guy, about the woman in the smoke shop. Right? She's like down on Sedona. She's like, yeah, piece of shit or something like that. I don't know. She's like down on
Lots
Sedona.
of things.
She was talking shit on all kinds of people, right? And I was just like laughing.
The dispensary story.
I was cracking up. I was cracking up, and then I just like started to join in the energy. I'm like, yeah, fuck those guys, you know. It's all energy. It's not even in the words at all. It's just all energy. So it's like when someone's bringing a bunch of what looks like a lot of negativity, just talking shit on these different people, uh, for one, the whole town, and then about the people at the dispensary and what they're doing over there. Um, and then she started getting really down on AI when I mentioned something about AI, and it was so funny because I started talking about oh well, you should ask that to my AI, because she's like, what is AI gonna do and this and this? Oh, you should totally ask that to my AI. And she's like, why would I do that? Because then you'd see what it would say. Why do I care what it would say? Because it reflects my own mind. She's like, really? She goes, would it reflect my mind too? Even if it's like totally off kilter? I go, totally. And she goes, and so I'm walking out. She's like, okay, I hear you. I'm opening up to AI. Which it's not like AI is good or bad. It's not like I'm trying to get people to open up to AI or anything like that. It's just that when I have a purpose, a function within everything, it's not like I'm trying to teach anyone anything. All I'm doing is I'm finding comfort within myself by going through any uncomfort. And I've had so much experience with this now, it doesn't even trigger any uncomfort in me to perceive someone being negative. I just find it playful right away. There's nothing even to forgive about it because there's no reaction to it. I just right away find it playful. I'm like, oh, they got some passion about their illusions. It's fun. It's fun to play with. And then the Holy Spirit can use me in any way that needs to be used. And people just see things without us trying to do anything. You're welcome, my love. Thank you for the question. I love it. Thank you, Edame. Thanks for joining the conversation. Feel free to ask any questions you want. Oh, I only have 5 minutes left. How exciting. I love doing this with you guys. I really do. Just waiting on the spirit to supply whatever words are needed to express the Spirit's gratitude for you, for each of you, for joining or listening later, whatever happens to be going on. There's so much appreciation for everyone who listens to the truth. There's so much appreciation for that and support behind it. There's lots and lots of support behind it. The more you want to spend your time listening to the truth, the more support there is behind it. And even if you seem to have a busy job, let's say you have a busy job where it's making your mind busy because you're thinking about all this different stuff. You can rest in the peace of God while at your job, even if you have to think of a lot of things. This is it's just a movement of your mind. It's just a willingness to be resting in the peace of God, no matter what it is that you seem to be going through. See if you can get a sense of detachment, like you're watching yourself engaged in your life and you're just accepting every little thing you seem to do and say, and every thought that even crosses your mind. You're welcoming it. You may be denying any reality to some of those thoughts and maybe just smiling at them and going, oh, thank goodness that's not real. But still, you're not pushing anything away. And this is something you could feel in your body's energy field when you open up to your experience. Look at it as a gift that you're receiving, whatever the experience is, and let everything that's apparently negative even be transformed in the light of truth. I love the way they're doing it over in Bullhead City. Actually, it's just one woman who's doing it this way, and who knows. Anyways, she sages people when they come in, and she thanks all of the energies. She thanks all of the energies for being there and for their service and going, you can go now. Thank you for your service. Just super light and gentle like that. Fighting anything does not need to be. It only allows things to persist. That's making them persist. There's nothing to be fought with about here. Just embracing yourself exactly as you are, embracing all of the different emotions, the different feelings that are arising. You don't have to take that out on other people. If you're present, you won't. Look, if you lose presence and you do have to happen to take it out on other people, be forgiving about it. How do you be forgiving about it?
The opportunity.
Yeah, how do you be forgiving about it? You recognize that didn't happen. You're perfectly unaffected by any lack of love, even if it seems to be coming from you to another person. That did not happen. All of the effects of it, the seeming effects of something that didn't happen, disappear when you're willing to recognize it didn't happen. What I've done before is thank people. Like, thank you for playing. I told my husband before, when I was seemed to be mad at him for 2 days because he was not appreciating me, whatever it was that was going on, and I was kind of like bitching him out for a couple days. This is, I think, 2019. And at the end of the 2 days, I said, the whole 2 days have been completely about me. None of that stuff is even true. There's nothing for you to even do about it. Thank you for playing.
You could see the relief of his face.
I can see the release. Yeah, I can see the release. But there's also fear that I was going to do it again. I never did it again. That was the thing. It was an inner transformation within myself. As I go, shit, that was all about me. Because I didn't carry it forward because I could see that there was no reason to carry any of those thoughts forward that said that him changing would be helpful. Him doing something different, him changing would be helpful. I don't want him to change. I want him to be authentic. Authentic is what I'm getting automatically. This is it.
And
Even if it's
you wanted him to
inauthentic.
Bring up those things that you couldn't do yourself.
I wanted him, yes. Yay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I love you all. Thank you to you guys over on Substack too and on Zoom. Ah, oh, go to hopejohnson.org if you would like to book a one-on-one with me. Read my blog post. These are being blog posted, so you could probably get the whole 2 hour talk in a 10-minute read if you wanted, because AI just takes all the important points that I'm pointing out and puts it into a blog post, and really easy to read. It's a really good blog post too. If you just like the entertainment, you like my voice, you like to take a long time to get to the point, watch the videos. You'd like to see my gorgeous face and hair and necklace, watch the videos. You can go you can go to hopejohnson.org to donate to me. Love it when you make donations. Also, you can do monthly donations now. You can set those up monthly. If you have any trouble with it, just reach out to me. I could take even monthly donations. I have an easy way to do that. So thank you, everyone. I love you. And I'll be back in 2 days for a beautiful and deep ACIM deep dive. Come back at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Yay! A hooey ho!